How's it going, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a trade recap from the trades that I took today, Friday, January 7th. I took 2 trades, one on BABA, one on Tesla, and I made $650. But I do want to highlight, I had some serious internet platform issues off the open, so I was making sure to be very careful. When I took my trade on Alibaba, things started to get a little sketchy, so when I got out of it, I knew that it's probably better for me to just back off and relax. And then after some time went by, I started to notice that everything was getting better again. And then that's when I took the second trade on Tesla. I made sure to size down to be safe, and then I got a nice winner. Every now and then it happens. Welcome to trading. You have internet issues or platform issues or both like I did today. I make sure that when I'm noticing those problems, I don't ever want to push it and get upset, because that's when I can kind of spiral. Things can get out of control and I can have a big red day. So it's all about being able to recognize what's going on and then control those emotions so that way you don't make really bad decisions. After the BABA trade, I told myself I don't need to take another trade, but once I saw that my platform and internet stabilized, that's why I felt confident in taking that next trade on Tesla, and gladly it worked out. And being that I had those issues and I took those 2 trades within the first hour and I was green, you know that's when I call it a day. Okay, so now let's get into the newsletter watch list. I was looking at Tesla, BABA, Nvidia, and AMC, and to the left of that, this is what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open each day, the stocks that I'm watching, why I'm watching them, and all the levels that I'm interested in trading around. And included is a snapshot of the charts with a green line to the upside where I'm interested in long and a red line to the downside where I'm interested in short. If you are interested in getting access to this, there's going to be a link in the description below. It's $29 a month, so for $1 a day, you can give it a shot. If you don't like it, you can always cancel. And one thing I really want to highlight in the mental notes is that I mentioned the daily charts are still sloppy. There is not a lot of clean looking daily charts. It continues to be a sell the rip kind of environment. And when that's the case, I want to make sure to tread very lightly, and I want to be patient and wait for quality setups so I don't get chopped up. And also, being that it was Friday, I made sure to trade next week expiration contracts. So now let's get into the technicals, starting with Tesla. So Tesla daily chart, not very clean, but it's one of my favorite stocks to trade. So I'm just going to mark all the levels and then try to wait for a possible good setup. The levels that were in play just close to off the open was going to be prior day high at 1088, pre-market high at 1101, and then pre-market low at 1056.52. And now Alibaba, and the reason why I like this is because it's been very beat up on the daily chart. Nice period of consolidation. Feels like it woke up a little bit back above the 9 EMA, the 20 SMA. Who knows how high it can go simply just because it's really beat up on the daily. Had a nice gap up on some metaverse news. So the main levels in play was going to be pre-market high, 132, and pre-market low, 129.75. Now Nvidia, and the reason why I was watching this is because yes, it had a decent bounce candle the day prior, but if for some reason the market wanted to roll back over, this 271 was a huge area of support. So if it broke that, felt like it had a lot of room to the downside. But it was trading flat in the pre-market. So if for some reason the market wanted to bounce a little bit more today, the upside level that I was interested in was going to be pre-market high at 285.25. And if it wanted to roll back over, pre-market low, 280. And now AMC, and the reason why I was watching this is because GME yesterday announced that it's getting in the NFT space, had a really big move in the after hours. Out of sympathy, AMC kind of followed. And then in the pre-market today, it was holding that move a little bit, but having a bit of a downtrend. And being that the daily chart has been in a recent downtrend, I thought that there was a chance where maybe this could get sold, but I don't want to be too biased. So the levels that I was interested in trading around was going to be pre-market high, 24.44, and pre-market low. 23.18 breaks pre-market low and remains weak, then it could possibly continue trend to the downside. So unfortunately, because of the internet issues and the platform issues, I did not get a chance to record my trades, but I have a screenshot of the executions. The first trade is going to be on Alibaba, so let's go over that. So I ended up going long at 9:37 and 8 seconds. Why did I take the trade? Because initially, Baba had a push, it pulled back, pretty choppy. I don't want to chase anything or try to anticipate too much. And then it gets back over VWAP and the 9 EMA, and then it takes out the high a day. So it does an opening range break to the upside with a technical level above pre-market high. So once it starts to push, I end up getting long. It pulls back a little bit, but it's still above the 9 EMA and the VWAP. And then eventually it breaks pre-market high. It does have a bit of follow through, but it does not follow through as quickly as I wanted to see it. And then it pulls back a bit. And then that's when I get out of the trade flat. So this is where I went long, 5 contracts, 937.08, got filled at 445, had the push, felt pretty good about the trade working. kind of hung around 932.20 a little too long. And then once it pulled back and got back below 132, I wanted to see it clear pre-market high, stay above it. Once it pulled back below it, I ended up getting out just to be safe. And I got out of those contracts at $4.50 for a very small win. I feel like I did a good job at giving the trade a chance. It just was not going that quickly. I was in it for 3 minutes, and then when it pulled back, I just got out of the way. I can always reevaluate if it sets up again, but that's when I kind of took my hands off the keyboard, told myself to relax because of the technical issues, and let's see if there's another setup on anything, and if so, I'm just going to trade small. Okay, so now let's get into the Tesla trade, and as you can see, I waited 35 minutes after the BABA trade for things to calm down, feel like there was no issues going on technically, to be able to take this trade. And even though I took it, I wanted to be careful. So I only took 3 contracts. No need to push it, possibly have an issue while I'm in the trade and I get stuck in something. So now let's take a look at what happened on Tesla. So really big move lower off the open and then got back towards the highs, failed the high a day, and then got back below the 9 EMA and the VWAP. And then once it really started to show a lot of selling pressure, this is where I took the first trade. So had a nice flag pattern, pushed up to the 9 EMA, failed, and then once it broke and started to show some weakness, I ended up going short 3 contracts. I did get a quick move in my favor. It bounced a little bit, but the overall market was so weak, I did not really believe the bounce. It was still below the 9 EMA, and then it failed the 9 EMA again, actually formed another flag pattern, and then once it broke the lows, I quickly got out of 2 contracts. So when I got into the 3 contracts short, I got filled at $38.75. Then when I sold those 2 as it made the new low, I got filled at $40.47 for a nice move. I left 1 on because I'm really working on trying to leave runners when I can. And then I got another really nice move in my favor. And once it broke the low of this candle, started to speed up a little bit, I ended up just taking the last contract off and I sold it at $41.55 for a nice trade. And after that trade, that was it for me. I did not want to push it, especially having some issues. So those 2 trades, I ended up making $25 on BABA and $625 on Tesla to be up $650 on the day. Nothing super crazy, but still a nice day for me. So that was the trade recap. I appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just wanted to highlight a couple cool things I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is going to be what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every day. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a very quick highlight of the SPY, the Qs, the bigger picture, the upside level that I'm looking at, the downside level that I'm looking at, the market news or the catalyst that day. And then I'm going to list 4 to 6 names that I'm watching, my favorites that day, and then the catalyst behind them if there's any news, the bigger picture idea, what's going on the daily chart, and then the levels to the upside and the downside. And then I add some mental notes at the bottom, kind of what I'm thinking that day, make sure to keep my expectations in check and follow my process. And the second thing is going to be a one-on-one call. So if you want something that's less of a commitment and you just want to talk to me about my process and how I approach the market, this is going to be great. It's a one-on-one live call for 1 hour. So if you're interested in any one of these 2 things, there will be links in the description below. Feel free to check them out.